The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, Norwegian Cruise Lines fires several of its foreign managers this afternoon after those managers spoke out about being treated like slaves on the cruise line's quay. Tonight, they join me. Also tonight, Integra, a Miami-based group set to bring the luxury Rosewood brand to Exuma, is here tonight to answer to criticism that their resort is not good for Exuma. So what's the real story? Well, the CEO tells me, and a resident of Black Point, Exuma, also joins me. It's all straight ahead for you this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you join me. Well, they were kicked off the Great Stirrup Key Island in the Berry Islands late this afternoon, put on a flight and sent to New Providence. The managers, Londi and Mateus, are here, angry, frustrated, and asking why, after numerous attempts, didn't the Department of Labor step in to address their working conditions? We're going to jump right in right there this evening. Good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you join me.
Thank you so much for having us.
Just right there, Londi. Look right, yeah, absolutely right there. You were just from the airport after being kicked, well, first fired without notice, without any reason according to what you think or know, kicked off the property at Great Stirrup Key and put on a plane, this after working under slave-like conditions. For you, Londi, 10 years. How are you all feeling this evening? I know just before we came on, another manager hit you up and said that they were kicked out on the road. Just tell our audience what happened today.
So basically, this morning, I think it was just shortly after 11, I received a call from one of the managers I work with, and he told me that HR just called asking for me to go to HR office as soon as possible. And obviously, I walked there. And when I reached there, I walk into the office. It's a small office, and there was just this corporate representative, which felt like an ambush. So the first thought I was like, okay, what's happening? And they just asked for my radios. They told me to give me the radios, and I was like, okay, what's happening? And then they pulled out the letter, obviously reading out the termination letter out to me, and I was like, but under which ground? They're like, with no cause. And the first thought that came into my mind, I was like, yes, this has to be in connection with the fact that we spoke out. We tried, mind you, to actually resolve the matter internally, obviously trying to avoid all of this.
For how long?
This has been going on from 2023 June, if I'm not mistaken, till to date, giving the company a benefit of a doubt several times. And then it came to a point where in January, we had to reach out to the labor, as we've previously discussed with you, in the same matter. And I mean, till today, the company still continues to show no interest at all to resolve the matter. And what's even more concerning is that they have no regards or whatsoever with the Bahamian laws, what it states.
So they have been and are operating in violation of Bahamian labor laws.
Absolutely.
Mateus, you jump in because you actually have to get on a flight in the morning to head back to Germany.
That's correct.
What's been your experience? And they both are managers, by the way, at Great Stirrup Key, have been speaking out about working, get this you all, 7 days a week, 10-hour plus days, including holidays, no overtime, no holiday pay. Mateus, jump in.
As you just said, Shanika, absolutely right. And it's just heartbreaking because I started with Norwegian Cruise Lines late in 2006. I've been through different positions and different projects with the company until I left in 2015 for a couple of years, but came back and returned in late 2019 and had the great honor and pleasure to be part of the huge investment and that groundbreaking experience working on Great Stirrup Key at Great Stirrup Key in the Bahamas. And it's been a great experience ever since. And every event that was scheduled on the island is being just announced extremely successful. Every corporate event that we had, including the new bills that came and stopped at Great Stirrup Quay during the inauguration, it was made clear by the highest authorities from corporate office that we setting the tone, we were setting the benchmark for all the ships calling Great Stirrup Quay, because we have been just outperforming from top to bottom. And it's just sad that, when we found out that being on a shipboard contract, but in the Bahamas, working in the Bahamas on a shipboard contract, and it was found out that that's probably not in compliance with the labor law, as we all see.
And you would want to think that even as foreigners, the fact that you work here, that you are covered, have some provision of protection under the laws of this nation, right?
Yes.
That is the hope.
Absolutely.
And that you would have gotten some resolve
Absolutely.
Before this happened.
And as I said, with all my years with Norwegian Cruise Lines, everything has been great ever since. But what happened today, it feels just, unreal, injustice, and we felt victimized and discriminated the way it was handled. And it's just a hurdle. We had our island director, he's a husband with 4 kids. They were just basically pulled out of school and they were thrown literally on the road. He broke up his life, came and commuted to the Bahamas to be committed to this project. It's a huge investment that Norwegian Cruise Line takes place, and for a great reputation also, as we were setting for the best destination in the cruising industry. And literally he had to pull out his kids from school, no boxes left, no luggage left.
Today?
The remaining, yes, today.
Like immediately?
Literally all in a heartbeat, and his all personal belongings, the last one that didn't find any space or any room in any cardboard box or luggage, was pulled in a garbage bag onto the boats to Great Harbour Quay, and off you go.
They had to leave right away?
Yes.
Pull the kids
Yes.
out of school this afternoon.
Yes.
and told to get off the quay,
Yes.
off the island.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the adverse working conditions because we have a very abbreviated segment. You had to sneak to eat meals. What is that about?
Well, obviously there are rules to set in place, right? So where we have the cafeteria where you can only go at certain times, limited times to get your food and stuff like that. So with that being said, it means if you're late to actually reach that time, unfortunately, there has to be, the island director has tried to make provision where you can actually go through in right channels and request to take food out. And obviously now this is a whole scope of structure of NCL. From the ship, they run the same thing, so they try to pass on everything on the quay. However, if you look at the island, it's a different scenario. We are on an island, we work, sometimes we have to stay behind trying to make sure that everything is on set, especially when they have a ship the next day. But however, if somehow people are like pulling the food out of the cafeteria, that becomes an issue. Of course, there is sanitation part of it, that is a concern. But at some point, you will think that maybe the company will make some adjustment, judging by the condition. You cannot run the island the same way you run the cruise.
You run a cruise
There's
ship.
a whole difference. There's a whole difference to it. You cannot tell me that you out working on the sun, under heat. We have so much dust in that quay. We actually even say in the morning we get a first dosage of the fog. During the day, we're breathing dust. And then later we get another dosage of fog, and then we cannot even just at least have 2 hours. But then these are the rules again set by the company.
You can't
right?
have 2 hours or even a good lunch break or whatever the break is, and working in excess of 10 hours a day.
Allow me to add in here, Shanika, to Londi's point. We haven't changed the manning on the island, the manning structure on the island for the last 3 years, more or less. So now you have all employees from the shipboard side, the fleetboard employees, the expats, that came on a shipboard contract 7 days, 10 hours. You tell them now, starting January 2024, you work on a 5-day schedule, how you're going to communicate, and you make sure that you still comply and avoid any overtime by having employees working for the ships when the ships are calling, but providing for all the island employees, which are around 220, 230 employees. And you're going to have also to provide 3 meals a day for these employees, avoiding any overtime. The manning structure is just unheard of, and it's just, you're losing words for everything that's at the moment going on. Yeah.
You have, and I know we have to wrap up, but I hope to revisit this discussion. I know, Londi, you intend to stick around for a moment. I just want to say that I have the Department of Labor is aware of this. The Ministry of Labor is aware of this. I'm told that they are planning on visiting Great Stirrup Quay tomorrow. Hopefully, this can all somehow, like, if it's resolved, would you all? We'll follow this. I hope that you all can have your jobs reinstated, your positions. It's just wild what is happening in terms of cruise lines and how they're operating many of these quays. Quite a concern. Thank you both, Londi and Mateus. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to have some thoughts and opinions on this with the Hot Topics panel after this break. Stay close.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day, and don't forget the special offer from Cornet Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Cornet Bahamas.
Security Depot makes shopping in the Bahamas easy. Shop the latest appliances, electronics, furniture, gadgets, toys, and so much more on our website, securitydepot242.com. See an item you like? Simply click on it, move to cart, and check out with the option of in-store pickup or home delivery. Endless possibilities are at securitydepot242.com.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Legends of Rakin Spray. Get ready for the biggest names in Bahamian music live on stage. KB, Funky D, Chino D, D-Mac, Sweet Emily, Simeon Outen, Veronica Bishop, and more like the Singing Bishop. Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 10th at the Farm, Marshall Road. Gates open at 6 p.m. General admission 80, VIP 120. Tickets available at Missouri, Bookie Brand, and the Beauty Shack, both locations. Skyboxes and Skypod. Call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Saturday, May 10th, come by Bo and play and experience the legends of Rake and Scrape. Brought to you by Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, ESC Distributors, Missouri, The Blog, The Beauty Shack, Bahamas, Bookie Brand, and Caribbean Wines and Spirits.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by the Legends of Rake and Scrape, May 10th at the Farm, Marshall Road.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, you just heard in the top segment the issue concerning Great Stirrup Key and the employees, the foreign labor component of the Key, just being, I guess, victimized because they spoke out, because they wanted better working conditions after being there for 10 years, and Mateus even longer than that. This is something we discussed recently on the show in terms of cruise lines who come and whether they lease keys or purchase them, and they have developments and they hire people, include Bahamians and foreigners, and then the way the people are treated. A Bahamian lady hit me up and she said, listen, the working conditions at Great Stirrup Key were horrible, and she's left a few months ago. But those people today, you saw what happened. So welcome to Beyond the Headlines, BTH contributors, Leslie Miller and Garth Rosborough. Good evening to both of you, and welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Leslie, this sounds quite familiar, doesn't it? We spoke about this recently.
You know, I find it incredible that these major world-renowned cruise ship companies could have such leverage on their workers that they in fact treat them like slaves. And the minute they speak out after years of trying to get proper compensation, and just to fire people on the spot and let them go to New Providence and get home, however they can get home. You know, now the Director of Labor had indicated, I think yesterday, I saw it read in the newspapers, that they were dealing with this matter and they were trying to get there. Of course, that fire sort of hampered them some.
Yes.
But it is my hope on behalf of all the workers there, Bahamians as well as foreigners, that this matter would be dealt with to the fullest extent by the Ministry of Labor. They have an obligation to see to that people are treated in a fair manner in our country, whether foreign or Bahamian.
Right.
It is not fair. I am told of a situation right now in Grand Bahama that one hotel in particular are paying the Bahamian workers $5 a day to clean a room. $5 to clean a room, but that's what you get. You clean 10 rooms a day, you get $50. They go by the rooms now for $5. I mean, this is slave labor. And the Ministry of Labor cannot sit by and allow these things to happen.
No,
must
cannot.
Come to an end.
I'll tell you, well, the Director of Labor said that he is aware of a number of things, including this situation that just turned out this way this afternoon, and that they are working on it because they will not have this in Bahamian territory and jurisdiction, Garth. But here it is that these people are now out of a job. Mateus is headed back to Germany.
After 15 years.
Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. Lundy is going to stick around for a few days, but others were kicked out, had to pull their kids out of, you heard him, had to pull their kids out of school there in the Berry Islands and had to make their way off the island.
Now, the government have to step in on this one. Government must step in.
You know, what's amazing is that we only could hear the stories of, you know, our forefathers pre-1967, during the days of UBP. You know, you spoke about oppression before Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and the such, you know, Rosa Parks and the rest of these people spoke about inequality, injustice, unfairness, you know, basically living like a slave. To hear this today in 2025, this here is the worst news I've heard in a very long time. It kind of makes me wonder how does Marco Rubio, those over in the United States, feel about Cubans, you know, concerning their wage situation and their work situation. But now we have it right here in our own home where we are now in abhorrence. I mean, I'm appalled. I'm like, how could this happen in my own beloved country? This surely is not a testimony of paradise. People dream of coming to the Bahamas for vacation, but imagine the dream of coming to work in the Bahamas. And now you come here and it's a total nightmare. We do have a government structure. We do have a Ministry of Labor. We do have a labor tribunal.
But these people have no regard. We do, and they have no regard because they feel as though they bring in the mighty buck. They have a major investment, and so the Bahamian government has nothing to do with you. We have this key. We bring in a few people here, now back down.
Well, with this story, it now comes to our attention, the Bahamian people. Are we now to pressure our government and our politicians to now provide jobs from external companies from around the world, just so that we can say there's a booming labor market in the Bahamas? Or do we now start to look to ourselves and say, you know what, Shanique Miller, I want to empower you. Leslie Miller, I want to empower you. We want to share the money amongst ourselves. We want to become stakeholders in our own country. Maybe it's time we now look at that instead of looking to others to provide this for us, because we do it the best. I mean, we're the Bahamas. We're number one in tourism around the world. Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong?
I think it's imperative now that the Ministry of Tourism step to the plate and start to monitor these hotels in a more scrutinizing way, that people will be aware of what really takes place behind our backs. I remember years ago, one of the hotels out west had this view that they could speak to Bahamian women of color any way they please. And one morning, God bless him, Saturday on hand, who was Minister of Immigration, got a call that the guy called the Bahamian women, niggers. And within an hour, he was escorted from the property, put on the flight, and was granted persona non gratis, never to return to the Bahamas. Maybe these things need to come back in force. If there's our country called the Bahamas, we are a sovereign state, eh?
Well, we're not for sale. There are many an issue, Shanique Miller. Bahamians over on Paradise Island, Bahamians in Balma, they continue to complain that they feel like second-class labor force individuals, that they are overworked, the conditions are not happy. I think right here on the show you mentioned something even about Eleuthera, that we had a situation in Eleuthera that sounds somewhat similar, Shanique Miller. And maybe this is a contagious disease that's about to spread unless we find a cure and bring this to a close very quickly.
Well, we know these major resorts who bring in the foreign element to be managers. The Bahamians are not qualified to be managers. They cannot hold those positions because they just ain't got it, the wherewithal to order sheet. And so they have a manager to do that. But listen, I want to jump quickly. In the next segment, we will be speaking with the CEO of the Integra Group, who is bringing the Rosewood Resort to Samson Key in Exuma. But a lot has been happening recently out there in the media space with regards to the environmental impact and the rest of it. This gentleman is waiting for, I think, final approvals from the Ministry of the Environment, who say that a number of adjustments have been made for the project, and of course they're taking their time to ensure that everything is in place. But here is this gentleman who is proposing a resort that is going to have a result of 400 jobs. And there's a fight happening with another gentleman. What's happening? Who is opposing, obviously, the project? And it just really appears to be a well-coordinated campaign to stop the Rosewood. Your thoughts?
Now you just put me in a pickle, because now we just talked about an external company coming into our country, and these are the conditions. Now this other company that has a good reputation as we know it now wants to come and provide 400 jobs. Me personally right now, after hearing the first news on this show, I'm not even excited anymore about the 400 jobs. I'm afraid. I'm just hoping to God that it's going to be a fair shake for the Bahamian people. But right now with the environmental situation, we just came off of the SpaceX debacle where we spoke about the environment. We're hearing much about the environment in the Sea Park in Exuma, and every conversation today now is about the environment. There was the environment over there with Toby and the other cruise line over on Paradise Island. So everything is the environment, and everything is now being at a slower pace because everyone now has to now be cautious as to whatever their findings are, whatever the determinations are, but you don't rush this thing anymore because why? The Bahamian people are watching.
You know, it is interesting that this project has been floating around for some time now. The idea of hiring 400 Bahamians to complete the project and be permanently employed is a good thing for the Exumas, in fact, for the Bahamas. And I find it interesting that some of the negativity that has been spreading about this project is done by so-called environmentalists, who I call mercenaries, that goes over there. You know, while they work for the Bahamas National Trust, they did what the fellas wanted them to do. Including destroying some of our parks in the Exuma Keys.
You preach it.
While I was Minister of Trade and Industry.
I'm with you.
Okay? Now all of a sudden, they're the experts who are telling the government what the government should and shouldn't do with regard to someone who is paying them to do their job.
I love it.
If I hired you, I want you to write what I tell you to write. You know the people in government, so write the negativity so that we can get these guys out of here. And those jobs will never materialize. And I'm a happy fellow with what I got, and I'm the king. This has to stop. This has to stop. the government has to step in again and make a conscious decision on what is the best deal for the average, ordinary Bahamian who are in dire need of employment in all of our family.
I endorse that 100%.
Well, gentlemen, we see that the Ministry of Environment is, as you all say, taking its time to meticulously go through what the proposal is, to recommend changes where necessary. I saw the article, I think, yesterday in the papers that and those changes have been made. We'll see exactly how this fleshes out. However, though, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we will have Felipe McLean, CEO of the Integra Group, join me to talk about the Rosewood Exuma Resort project. Back in a moment.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
So my name is Dr. Sophia Roll. I'm the resident artist for the Via Hamea Art House and Gallery. This is not something that I've gone to school for, if you will. I'm a professor. I recently got into art in 2015 because it was something that I always wanted to do. I saw something about fluid art, the abstract expressionism of fluid art really drew me. And so I'm always thinking now about art. I see the world through art. So that is, for me, very, very gratifying, very, very satisfying. So receiving the Women's Initiative grant really impacted the business because it allowed me to see in that I could have taken my craft, my art, outside of the gallery walls and really maximizing on some of the training, some of the skills that we learned. The advice that I would give to not only women, but anyone who's interested in starting a small business or starting a business is to just get started. You have to take the first step. And if you take the first step, you'd be amazed at how far you can continue to walk in that space.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Sizzling summer savings start early at Grand Bahama Tiles with a 25% off store-wide sale. This Friday, May 2nd and Saturday, May 3rd, catch the savings and upgrade your home decor early with sizzling summer deals. And don't miss our 35%, 40%, and 60% off summer clearance corner. It's a hot, sizzling summer store-wide sale at Grand Bahama Tiles. Call them at 352-7920. Some restrictions apply.
Take sports seriously. Get ready to experience the thrill of winning anytime and any place. Bet in real time and live the thrill of every play while watching your winnings stack up. It's your chance to score big with fast payouts and a world-class experience. Get in the game and bet the Bahamian way with Island Luck Sportsbook.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. The Integra Group, of course, is creating a lot of buzz in the, if you can go up to the third segment, please, in the Bahamas, particularly on the island of Exuma. There is an excitement about the new Rosewood Exuma luxury resort. It's a $200 million development on East Samsung Key, and already it's making an impression among locals. The resort has set an opening date of 2028. Well, we're going to speak on that and get the CEO of the Integra, Felipe McLean, to speak on some of the other issues that's been said in the media lately. And so it's good to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Felipe, good evening to you.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here. I saw a clip from a recent town meeting in Exuma where residents were speaking quite highly of you and your corporate footprint in Exuma already. We will speak with Dwight Roll of Black Point Exuma in just a few minutes. However, let's begin with where the resort stands right now. Where is it? Because we've seen the headlines of the Ministry of the Environment saying that they've not approved everything as yet. They're still sort of taking their time and looking over a few things.
Correct. So we're in the last process with DEP, which is the Department of Environment, as you know. And we've just been, exchanging information with them and going through the process, being very respectful of the norms and laws here in the Bahamas. And the next step is for us to let the process go, and eventually that would conclude with the CEC.
Mm-hmm. And so you're hopeful that you're abiding by every law, observing every environmental, I guess, whatever it is that needs to go according for approval. You're confident that you are online.
So let me tell you, we are already 4 years into this process. This project is not just a project of Felipe McLean and Integra Group. This project was born with the community. I told you the story that when I first went to the Exuma, it was the community that basically showed me the area, showed me the potential that the region had. And for the last 4 years, we've been working very closely with the community, following everything to the T in terms of the processes that are here in the Bahamas. That includes the environmental process and the EIA that needs to be done. And
that's been done.
The EIA has been done, right? And we're just in the last phase to receive the CEC. But of course, it's a process that we're letting continue and review by the Department of by DEP.
Why should Bahamians believe you when you say that the project is in alignment with environmental laws and specifications, and that this project, the Rosewood Exuma, is in the best interest of the environment and equally as important, the people of Exuma?
When you buy something or you buy into something, you buy into a brand, right? And you have to trust what's the brand behind it. Rosewood is known here in the Bahamas. This is going to be a project that is unique for the Bahamas, but you have to understand that Rosewood commands certain standards, and it's at the end of the day it's a brand, and that brand at the end of the day has to abide and perform to be recognized globally as Rosewood is. Rosewood has won multiple awards for the environmental efforts that they've done, for the sustainability efforts that they've done. And I think that's the trust you're given, and the people see that. People know Rosewood. We're doing the Rosewood Exuma, and the Rosewood Exuma is going to be definitely a project that is going to go beyond the normal standards. Why? Because it's an ultra luxury brand. It's a brand that demands the highest standards of quality, but also understands that today the clientele for Rosewood demands consciousness for the environment and sustainability.
Absolutely, and for Exuma, that we prize so much for its land and sea parks and the rest of it, we want to keep everything intact while you develop and add this brand to what Exuma has to offer. And just to talk about, the project itself before we get into what the project will look like and how it will roll out, what steps are you taking? There are reports that I've read that there's going to be a major amount of dredging. So what steps are you taking to ensure that when you dredge, that there is no disturbance of the natural habitat of the seabed, of some damage that so many are saying in different quarters that this project will bring about?
Yes, first I would like to start saying that that's not accurate. There's not going to be massive dredging, it's going to be minimum dredging. We are dredging only 8,500 cubic yards for our service dock. I'll give you an example. That's only 3% of the site, the amount of the dredging that we're doing. So compared to our neighbors, compared to other projects, the dredging we're doing it's minimum. Mm-hmm. The two marinas that we have on Rosewood basically are being dredged and excavated inland. So the amount of dredging is minimum, and that's definitely something that has been spread out, which is not accurate.
Right. Another thing I've heard, you can perhaps clarify this, is that your resort is going to kind of have overwater bungalows. What's that about, and is this true?
Again, that's another misstatement. The resort is not going to have any overwater bungalows.
Yeah. Now let's just talk about the Rosewood. Again, a lot's being said in the media about the resort. I wanted to kind of just get in there first and hear exactly what the resort looks like. But we can say for sure, the resort hopes to employ or plans to employ 400 people in the construction phases and all the other phases and permanent jobs as well. Give us an overview of what this exclusive Rosewood Exuma brand will look like at Samson Key.
Correct. So this is a transformational project for the Exuma Keys. This is a project that is going to employ 250 workers during construction, 150 workers when it's operational. So altogether it's 400 jobs. It's going to have an economic impact of north of $1.6 billion. That means $336 million in salaries for the Bahamians and Exumians. This has not been done before. This is transformational. The whole Exuma Keys are experiencing something unique. As you probably know, there's an expansion of the runway in Black Point that's going to completely change the region. So people are in Black Point and in the Exuma Keys are looking forward for something like this. And our project, it's a perfect fit, bringing quality over quantity. Mm-hmm. So we are going to make sure our project, so that it's a low-density project, but with high impact. And we think that that's exactly what Exuma Keys need.
Well, you spoke of Black Point. I know that you have forged relationships on Black Point already. Are we expecting Dwight Roll from Black Point to join us? Justin, let me know when he's there. I want to hear from him and his words, exactly the kind of person that Felipe has been already before he even officially brings the Rosewood there. But what makes Samson Key the ideal spot for this development?
So Samson Key is in the heart of the Exuma Keys. Samson Key is it's very close to Staniel Key, where there's an airport. It's close. It's 15 nautical miles from Black Point. It's definitely an excellent location for the type of project we're doing. And we believe that our Rosewood Exuma project is the perfect fit for a location like that. Low density, with high impact to the community. So definitely that's a location that we like. It's perfect for what we're doing, and we believe that it's gonna be definitely the new ultra luxury destination of the world.
Well, before we speak with you about all that you've been doing, because this is like the third time we're now speaking, you've appeared on this show, I'm going to go to Exuma at Black Point and speak with Dwight Roll. Dwight, good evening to you. It's great to see you. Are you there, Dwight?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome to the show. It'll be great if I can see your face. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Excellent. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Just talk about the Integra Group already, the Rosewood Exuma project, and in particular Felipe McLean and how he has made his presence felt tangibly in Black Point and other areas in Exuma?
Yes.
I think you pressed something, Dwight.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I need to see you. I'd love to see you.
Can you see me now?
Yes, I can. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Felipe has brought tremendous, grateful advisement on jobs coming into the Exuma Keys, which is very appreciated for the people of Black Point. The people welcome Felipe there, who tremendously been having meetings after meeting with the community, with the older set of folks there, to put trustworthy in what the project will be bringing there to Black Point, Farmers Key, and Staniel. It will lift up the younger generation from Black Point, Farmers Key, and Staniel, because we never face having this type of jobs, that older jobs we've been seeing for a while, and never introducing a new job what Felipe is going to be bringing.
Yeah, has there been this level of investment and like particularly resort development anywhere on any of those keys that you mentioned?
Well, we only have Staniel Key Yacht Club, which has been there for years, and every other project that goes on drawn through the keys, which is private islands, we've been facing tremendously some bad taste with islands, Exuma Keys Islands, privately, which we never had success with the people from Black Point actually working. It's been switching around that we've been left behind. And here comes Felipe that steps in and ensure that us, who are the people from the Exuma Keys, that he's going to be specifically looking at the people from there to ensure that the people from Exuma, Black Point, Farmers Key, and Staniel, that they will be the first set of people, behemoths, that will have those jobs.
So even though the Exuma economy has been quite healthy and robust for quite some time, it's been mainly focused elsewhere and not necessarily on those keys that you mentioned. What a difference What a difference is this presence that Felipe is bringing in and through Rosewood making already that you can speak of?
Well, it's been going because in between with Felipe, he's been coming in and out. Few gentlemen, guys from Black Point, ladies also, been getting few jobs also from Felipe, we never had that before. New welcome guy coming in, giving the locals with boats, with their own private boats. He's giving them jobs, bringing in different people from different places to come check it out, and he's hiring them right on the spot. We never had that with other islands which surrounded us. We never had that type of stuff, most of those islands actually have their own boats. And it's been tearing us apart for quite a while, most of the locals have their own boats that these other private islands could also help the locals, but it doesn't happen that way.
Right.
Just Felipe been doing so much, but his project hasn't started yet, but where we could see the process.
It's already encouraging.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about, is there a concern from Black Point, Staniel Key, and the other key that you mentioned? Is there concern that perhaps this resort, in its construction phases and all the traffic, I guess, that will come about as a result, can pose some danger to the environment by residents?
I'll tell you the truth. I've been there for all my years, most all of my years, traveling up and down, watching my Bahamas. I doesn't see no pose of threat for what I have seen, for what I know, and what goes on around in the Exuma Keys. I haven't seen the threat where they said it's going to be this and it's going to be that. No, I doesn't see that. which in outskirt of different islands already did most damage than they saying what Felipe is going to do, but it's not going to be that way. It's just certain step that they want to ensure, or we, the Exumians, want to ensure that it's the right thing Felipe is doing, and I think he's heading in the right direction. He's not going to destroy anything more than what other islands already destroyed.
Yes.
Which they never let the Bahamians or the Exuma people know what they was doing. But Felipe been step in step with Farmers Keep, Black Point, Staniel, and
He keeps you all, the residents, informed. Yeah,
Yes.
through town meetings and just communication, keeping the doors open.
Yes, correct.
Well, I also, when I think it was some months ago, I interviewed him, and he talked about recently, at that time, donating to the school there, which one of the schools in the 3 Keys that you mentioned. Okay, I think that he is paused again. We're just gonna continue with you, Felipe. Let's just talk about what you did even recently with donating to schools, medical equipment at the local clinic. Why is it important for you to, even now, before this project even begins construction and is opened and business is happening on a daily basis, for you to make an impact on these residences? In fact, we're looking at some images right now with you with residents, speaking with them. Can you describe what's happening here?
Sure. So, as I said before, we believe that everything starts with the community, having a solid community with the right infrastructure. We donated over 175 medical supplies to the clinic. Now you go to the clinic in Black Point, and it's a clinic that definitely...
You're also helping create a sea park here, I see.
That's the park for the kids.
Yeah.
That's the park for the kids. And tomorrow we are having also a big donation that is gonna definitely changed the life of all of the kids from Black Point. So I'm not gonna tell you now, but you're gonna see it tomorrow. We're very happy with it. We're very engaged with the community. We listen before doing anything, and I think that that's a big difference in the approach we take as developers. And that has been our approach from day one. We listen when they ask for an investment like this to happen. The model that was in the Exuma before of yachts or billionaires owning private islands is definitely not having the impact needed in the Exuma Keys. Mm-hmm. We believe that our project is going to have the impact, not because we only believe, but it's because the community believes in that. And this is a project we're doing together. This is not just a project of us, we're doing it together, and together we're changing the lives of the people in the Exuma Keys, with the school, with the clinic, and next with the community centers, and in not only Black Point. Tomorrow we're spending the entire day in Staniel Key, talking to the community, explaining them.
So you've taken it upon yourself to go to the various keys. We heard Dwight say it, but you're saying tomorrow you have another project at hand, and that is to go to now Staniel Key to again meet with residents so that they understand what it is you're doing.
Yes, and first listen, and then of course present to them what we're doing, and making sure that they know the facts, right? And making sure that they know the truth. So that's our goal. We want to do this project together with the communities. We want them to know the facts, and and this is a shared vision. This is not only a vision for Felipe McLean, it's a shared vision with the community, and they understand the impact that this project is going to have on them.
I mean, obviously your goal is to get Rosewood open and operational, and to have people come and experience Samsung Key and Rosewood. But what do you foresee happening as a result of the property being there opened for those keys you mentioned, and even to spill over?
You know, that's my goal, but my dream is to have our 150 staff village operational. My vision and my dream is to allow people to go back, or Bahamians or Exumians, to be able to live and work in the Exuma. That doesn't happen today. Yeah. There's very limited offering. Most of these Exumians had to leave either to Nassau or to the other islands, or sometimes leave the Bahamas in general. And we're getting a tremendous amount of engagement and people asking if we can already, employ, or they're looking forward for
People are already knocking on your door.
Knocking a lot on our door and excited about this. And I want to mention something also that I think is important. The Exuma, even though it's the jewel of for me, it's the jewel of the world, but it's the jewel of the Bahamas. 5 years ago, a lot of people didn't know much about the Exuma. Today, with what we're doing, and that has evolved in the last 4 years, it's globally known that Rosewood Exuma is happening, and you can see that. When I started coming here, there were a couple of flights. Now there are multiple flights coming in. There were a couple of restaurants. Now you see a lot of restaurants.
How will Rosewood lift what Exuma already has to offer? I mean, it's a wonderful destination already, but you're putting it on this key, Samsung key. How will the Rosewood brand add to it and further lift it?
Well, you're elevating. It's an ultra luxury brand, globally known. So just having a Rosewood in Exuma, it's elevating the region. That means quality. I think that we have two powerful brands, Rosewood and Exuma. It cannot get more powerful than that. So, and we're going to make sure that, and something that we like about Rosewood is that keeps one of their ethos is the sense of place. So this is a project that is going to talk to the culture, the heritage of the Bahamas, and it's going to be designed and operated keeping that in mind. And for that's the reason that we're going to employ Bahamians, work with them, and start all the way from the community, have them in the building the staff village that we're doing. That definitely we're putting a lot of effort, and we believe that it's going to be the best back of the house or staff village that there's in the Caribbean. We believe that in order to attract the best talent, you have to have the right infrastructure for them. We're putting a church, we're putting a park, we're putting restaurants. Also,
a nice community.
A nice
for
community
the workers. And speaking of workers,
yeah.
The foreign investor is very fond of, not just with what you're doing, but everywhere in this nation, of bringing in importing labor, particularly to have them at senior levels. How do you plan on offering Bahamians an opportunity to fill senior positions?
So first of all, our priority is always going to be hire Bahamians. We believe that there is already talent. I see that in Rosewood Bahamar, for example, that has been changing, and I see more and more very talented Bahamians that, by the way, they also want to come to Exuma. But definitely, we're going to work with the local agencies, with BTVIA, with the University of the Bahamas, and we're going to have a training program with Rosewood where you can exchange the workers and give them the right training.
And how about Exuma? You heard Dwight say, listen, those three keys, Farmers Key, Staniel Key, and Black Point, are super excited. They are happy that they're going to be first in line. How do you plan on including them so that they are trained sufficiently and perhaps can fill in some of those slots?
A lot of the jobs are going to be both captains, and I can tell you that I wouldn't hire any other captain in the Exuma Keys that is not from the region. So they're definitely first in line. We believe that there's very good talent in Exuma. We've been working with them. We have a database of over 150 prospectives that are interested in working with us already. And I cannot wait to start this project and start giving those jobs that we're promising. This is a project that is going to be done all at once, meaning we're going to build the hotel without depending on sales, which that makes a big difference. So you're going to have 250 workers on it, and the goal is to have the hotel ready by 2028.
You're sticking by that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, of course, training and availability and the rest of it. Also, you mentioned about they will be trained, and you're going to look at University of Bahamas and the School of Hospitality and just other spots, including perhaps other resorts where people would want to be tempted. But let's talk about small business development. I mentioned even before that the mushrooming effect of having what Rosewood will represent there at Samsung Key spill over. Do you foresee that happening?
Yeah, absolutely. And I already see it. As I said, I see more and more restaurants in the different keys. I see big opportunities for young entrepreneurs opening new businesses. And I'll give you an example. There's not an ATM machine in Black Point. Now that we're going to start, employing, and so things are going to start changing, right? And we are actually looking at different options. There's an app where we can, start allowing people to receive, their payments, and the whole dynamic is going to change in the region, especially now also that the airport is being expanded. Imagine, so you're going to have more people going, more businesses opening. Right. More traffic for and boat captains needed. So that's something that really excites me. Something that makes me sad is when I go to the Exuma Keys and it's the beautiful jewel of the world and it's a little bit empty. Mm-hmm. That breaks my heart. Mm-hmm. When I know that there's a huge potential, that it's a destination that cannot be only enjoyed by very few people that have private islands. I believe that there's a big potential and the community needs it and wants it.
Yeah. Will you be conducting job fairs, and how can people even now reach out to Rosewood Exuma to begin expressing an interest and perhaps get some directions on how they ought to...
Something that I think is quite unique about us is that we're very approachable. I spend almost every week going to the Exuma, believe it or not. Maybe you can see it a little bit with the tan. But as I said, we have a database of over 150 people already that are interested in working with us, and that's going to keep increasing. And as soon as we after the process with the DEP and once that it's finalized, and at the right time, they're going to be able to apply online, and we're going to keep updating about the project, and they're going to be able to engage with us and see the different opportunities that we have to offer.
And I know you're meeting with Daniel Key tomorrow, but if you can speak to the people of the Bahamas, I'll tell you which camera to look up at, and let them know what just the promise behind this project and how it really stands to benefit not just Exuma, but also the country.
Sure. So this project...
Right here.
Here? Okay. Mm-hmm. So this project is not just a project of Felipe McLean and Rosewood Exuma. This is a project that is being done with the community in Exuma. This is a project that is going to have a tremendous economic impact, north of $1.6 billion. This is a project that is going to put $336 million in the pockets of the Exumians and the Bahamians that are going to be working directly and indirectly. This is a project that is transformational for the region, and this is a project that is being done with the best of the best in terms of brand, in terms of consultants. We're working with the best consultants here in Bahamas, where we have a big team behind this project. And we believe that definitely the Exuma Keys have the potential to be the new ultra-luxury destination of the world. And everything starts by putting a strong brand like Rosewood, commanding the highest standards, not only for the operation, but also the highest standards for consciousness on the environment, sustainability. We have the opportunity to bring new technologies. We have the opportunity to be innovative with technologies in such an amazing project with all the different collaborations that we can do with the best brands of the world. So it's a low density project. I want to emphasize on that, but with a high impact for the communities.
Sounds great. I thank you very much for coming in this evening and speaking with us, for clarifying many things that's been said in the media recently, and also for sharing what Rosewood Exuma stands to represent and also bring to the community of Exuma and the surrounding keys, and by extension, the country.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful. You all learned a lot. I hope you all took some notes and got your, some information that you needed to perhaps get on board. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Of course, at the top of tonight's show, we had those fired workers from the Norwegian Cruise Lines. And then in the middle of the show, thank you so much to my Hot Topics panelists. And then Here in the third segment, Felipe McLean from Rosewood Exuma and the Integra Group. Thank you very much. And thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Certainly enjoyed having you along. And I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.